So you know what I absolutely hate? Surprises. Never been a fan of surprise birthdays, surprise parties, surprise gifts, surprises at all. And I hate to break it to you, and I hate to break it to myself, but purchasing a home may have some surprises along the way that you weren't totally ready for.
Just ignore him.
And I'm not going to be talking about inspection concerns that come up because we can't predict those and we can't really expect them, unfortunately. But what I can help you with is understanding the financial side of buying a home and the surprises that come along with it. So let me paint the picture for you. You think you've saved up enough money for the down payment. Maybe you're doing 5%, 10%, 20%, or maybe you're using a VA loan and you don't need any money at all. So you think. But let's say you have your down payment, you're ready to go, you think now's the time, start looking for a home. Well, the down payment is just the beginning. And today I'm breaking down the hidden costs of buying a home in South Jersey. The ones that most buyers don't even think about or expect, and they're just kind of thrown into it. Because I hate surprises and I don't want my buyers to be surprised. So let's start off with what you need to pay to satisfy your loan. Not including down payment, and I'll talk about closing costs in a second, but the appraisal. So in order for your loan to be processed, initiated, your lender is going to send an appraiser out to the property to check for two things mostly: the condition and the value of the home. Now, this might be annoying, and appraisals usually cost between $500 and $700, and they're really unavoidable, but it's to benefit you because an appraiser is going to make sure that the house is safe to be lived in, that it's up to their code, whether it's VA, FHA, conventional loans. They all have different sets of parameters. And they're also going to make sure that you're not overpaying for the home. You know, you may really, really love a home and may have put an offer that's $100,000 over asking price just because you really want the home. But the bank might not think, and the appraiser might not think that the house is really worth it. And they don't really want to see you overpay for it if you do not have to. Okay, so now we have appraisal aside. Let's talk about closing costs. You may have heard of closing costs before. Closing costs are what goes into your title insurance, your prorated property taxes, your prorated homeowner's insurance, everything like that. And these are paid, like the name implies, at closing. Probably about a week into getting everything rolling with your loan, your offer's been accepted. Awesome. Your loan officer, your lender should be able to give you a rough estimate of what your closing costs would be. Here in our service area in South Jersey, we estimate right around 4%. Could be as low as 2.5%, could be up to 5%. So just keep that in mind. So if we have a $400,000 home, 4% would be $16,000. And I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be that much because a lot of it does factor into property taxes as well and prorated amounts for quarters. But just something to definitely keep in mind because you want to make sure that you have enough money set aside for the down payment plus your closing costs as well. And we can, in some cases, ask for the seller to provide a closing cost credit for us of X amount, but it does make our offer weaker, and it also now is reliant upon the appraised value of the house, because let's say that we put an offer out for $400,000 with a $10,000 closing cost credit. Well, the appraiser comes to the house and thinks that the home is only worth $390,000. Well, then what about that $10,000 closing cost credit? Now the seller might not want to give it. Now you might need it. So it becomes a little bit of a situation that we have to navigate through together. And we can help you with that, but just something to keep in mind where if you can pay your own closing costs, that's what I recommend. All right, so we got appraisal and we got closing costs out of the way. Now let's move on to inspections. So most lenders are going to require a termite inspection. For VA, FHA, this is a requirement. So just keep that in mind. Termite inspections, thankfully, are not very expensive, usually between $75 and $125, depending on who you use. But that's required. Now, other inspections, highly recommended that you do, even if you really want a house that really don't want to see you waive a home inspection. Cost between $350 and $500. Home inspector will come to the house, go from everything from the roof down to the structure. Usually takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes longer, depending on the size of the house. And you will get a detailed, comprehensive report of every known defect with the house. Oftentimes, they'll provide manuals for HVAC systems, furnaces, hot water heaters. So, definitely well worth the money, and it can uncover major structural problems, major concerns that then you can ask the seller to address, or you can decide you just want to walk away. Radon inspections. This one comes up quite a bit of, do I need a radon inspection? So North Jersey, as you can see on the map, has much more radon than South Jersey, much higher prevalence. But that does not mean that it is unheard of in South Jersey. Radon is a colorless, odorless gas that, with high exposure amounts, can lead to lung cancer, can lead to super, super harmful effects on your body. Radon is primarily found in basements, not so much on the main floor, upper floors, because it's within the earth. So it's really your call. If the house has a basement, always recommend it. And even if you think you're in a low factor zone, a low risk zone, still doesn't hurt to get it. Radon test costs about $125 to $150, and well worth your money because your health is wealth. All right, so when you purchase a home, you either have public sewer and public water, or you have well water and a septic tank. You can also have a cesspool, but we're going to leave those out because in New Jersey, if the property has a cesspool, you can only buy it with cash. So we'll just keep that one aside right now. So septic tanks. So septic inspections usually cost about $1,000. They're very important. Septic tanks can cost $20,000 to $40,000 to replace. So you really want to make sure that you get a septic inspection. And most lenders are going to require that you get the inspection done. And then the water test. So if you're on well instead of public water, it is technically the seller's responsibility in most cases to get a water test, a passing water test, to give to the title company to show that this house has healthy, clean drinking water. And I've been seeing this last one more and more lately, a sewer scope. So let's say your house is on public sewer, not on septic tank. So there is a line going from your house out to most likely the street. Sometimes depends where the main sewer line is for your road, for your neighborhood. And these are installed when the house is built. Now, in South Jersey, there's some really old homes, which means that there might be some really old sewer lines going out to the street. So a sewer scope basically takes a camera, fishes all the way down into the sewer system, and make sure that there's no major cracks, no major defects, because it can cost about $20,000 to replace a sewer line going out to the road. So you want to protect yourself in that way as well. So just going based off of rough numbers, these fees outside of closing costs are paid before closing. So the appraisal, $600. We'll say home inspection based on inspectors that I've used recently, $350. Termite inspection, $75. And we'll say radon's $125. And those are the main three. So if you add those three up, plus the appraisal fee, you're around $1,150. Then add on a septic inspection. If you have a septic tank, then you're probably closer to $2,000 at that point. And then if you decide to do a sewer scope, maybe it's around $200. So we'll say all in, if you needed to get every single one of these inspections, probably somewhere around $2,500 out of pocket before you get to the closing table and do your closing costs and your down payment. But in most cases, probably right around $600, assuming no septic tank, maybe you're not doing the sewer scope, but you're doing the main radon inspection, termite inspection, home inspection. And then if you add the appraisal fee, probably right around $1,000 in total before closing. And all of these are really worth the investment. Believe me when I say this, you really don't want to be stuck with a home that might have some issues that you didn't uncover before you bought it. Because then what might be $1,000 investment up front for everything may have saved you $50,000 worth of unknown repairs, damages that you would then have to take full ownership of after closing. And if you are thinking about buying a home in South Jersey and you want some help budgeting, feel free to reach out. My family and I would love to help you. We've helped hundreds of buyers throughout the years navigate this exact process, making sure they have enough money saved up, making sure the funds are there for everything. We can help you too. If you like this video, please leave it a like, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Really hoping to gain traction, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, you you might like this one right up here. Don't forget to subscribe.